I graduated with a degree in vocal performance, so that means I was classically trained as a singer. And my identity within music has shifted so many times. And with each shift, it's been super hard. And now I'm learning that those shifts could have been more easily received, been more easily dealt with had I just accepted myself in that present moment. This video is for you if you are having changes that are occurring. Maybe it's changes in the beliefs that you're having, changes in the things that you want and the things that you desire. This video is for you. It's very interesting because with my identity as a musician, there were shifts in what I thought my role in music would be, like, all the time. I wouldn't say all the time, but it's like every couple of years or every couple of months, it'd be like, hey, I think I want to do this, or no, I think I want to do that. So initially, I decided that I wanted to be a chorus teacher. Then I said, you know what, I want to be an opera singer. Then I said I wanted to be an orchestral director. Then I said, you know what, to hell with all of it. I just want to be a music producer. I want to get away from classical music altogether, and I just want to do contemporary music. As life continued, I realized that, hey, I still like classical music. I still listen to classical music, whether it be instrumental or vocal, particularly Renaissance music and Baroque are like my absolute faves. But I realized that I still loved classical music and it was something that I could return to. That was one of the biggest shifts as well, because I believe that because I didn't want an active role in classical music, that it would no longer be accessible to me in a meaningful way. In comes doing church gigs. It's non-committal. So, hey, do you need somebody to sing on this Sunday? Yeah, sure, I'll be there for you. Get my check and leave. Like, you feel me? Like, it's very non-committal. And that really worked for me because that was like my end. That was my way to still be connected to classical music because I was making it and not just listening to it. So currently, right now, I do have a full-time church gig. And one of the main things is that there's a lot of music. A lot of music. And, you know, when you have church every Sunday, you have different music for each, for each service. And I'm in two separate choirs. I went through all of these identity shifts, from wanting to be a chorus teacher to, an orchestral director. There were a lot of different roles that I fulfilled throughout my college journey. And I just realized, like, they just weren't good fits. And with that in mind, I'm like, okay, so I guess a choir member is, like, the last best thing. Like, I don't know what the hell comes after this. Like, if this doesn't work out, like, where else do I fit? Because, again, like, it's not enough for me to just listen to classical music and really enjoy it. I need to be making that music. So here comes the challenge. I was singing in two separate choirs. That's two separate things of music. And some of the music is easy, and then some of it is easy, but it's long. And then some of it is short, but it's hard. And then some of it's hard and long. So it's like there's different types of music that I was singing. All of it is sacred music. But, you have different composers, different, styles. I had one choir that I was singing in English, and then I had another choir that I was singing in Spanish. So then there's that whole thing of trying to sing in a different language while also knowing the notes and melodies and all this other stuff. And it's weird because even as I'm talking about it right now, like, it's like, okay, it's a lot. That is what I was feeling. And I'm like, I don't know. And I used to be very black and white about all of my thinking. Thank the universe that I've had so many experiences that have shifted my black and white thinking to recognizing the shades of gray, But sometimes you just have blind spots. And this was my blind spot. My idea that if working as a choir member for this church gig, if this doesn't work out, that my place in classical music was gone forever and I would never be able to find a meaningful way to have that in my life. That was my blind spot. And I spoke with my friend and we had a real conversation, and I was telling her, like, I don't know who I'm going to be if I don't have music in my life in this particular way. To me, this was the last stop. on the railroad track, okay? Like, if I don't make a home here in this idea of what classical music is, of being a paid church gig member, if I can't make that work, I'm done for. I don't know what else I could do. There are certain possibilities that you just don't see. Like, you're never going to be able to see until, time passes, or you meet certain people, or you have different experiences. But in those weeks of doing this job, of this overwhelming job, I'm like, I've hit a wall. I've hit a wall and I can't see around this wall. I don't see how I can do this any longer. I was getting so overwhelmed by this job, but I felt like this was like my last chance. So how can I give it up? After having a conversation, a very vulnerable conversation with my friend, she said, look, like, you don't know what could happen. There are so many things that could happen in regard to music and how you show up. And this is just one way for music to be expressed. Just because you don't know any of the other ways that you could express it does not mean that those don't exist. There's so many possibilities of how classical music can show up in your life and in a way that is meaningful to you. Don't give up on classical music is really what she told me. And I think what is amazing is that in that moment, I was able to just be honest and just take account of where I was in the moment. Because if I'd just been thinking about, okay, this is what I said I wanted. This is what I said I wanted. I wanted to have a church job. I wanted to do this. Being able to accept that I changed my mind as a result of that experience of actually doing what I said I wanted, like, wow, I'm able to change my mind. I'm actually able to feel differently about things, even though I didn't think I would. And in regard to my church position now, it is now a temporary position. It is no longer like a permanent thing. So I'm still able to kind of have a little bit of freedom. And I'm not fulfilling my role as a section leader for 2 separate choirs. So that's less music that I have to learn. But I'm still learning music. I'm still having the opportunity to go somewhere every week and, go to rehearsals and learn music and just make music with other people. It honestly worked out for the best. I'm still kind of trying to accept that. It's not easy. Part of me still thinks like, man, like, what if I was still just doing both, positions? I do still think about that. But being able to have that vulnerable conversation with my friend and just look at where I'm at right now and accepting myself right now and my needs at this very moment. Being able to accept yourself and accept the changes that occur within you, that is where it starts. Accepting that where you are right now is enough and it's okay, and that you might change your mind on things. Like, that is okay. That is what I'm hoping that you get away from this video. In the future, I want to discuss why self-acceptance is the building block for spirituality and its relation to how we treat others. If this video resonated with you, please leave a butterfly in the comments below and tell me, what is the last thing that you had to accept about yourself and how is that going? I'd love to hear it. Thanks.